Hi friends, welcome to the Plain Fun RC channel. I'm your host, Saul. I want to take a moment just to do a quick blurb, just to provide you with a very helpful technique. We're using Ultra Coat here as we're covering our St. Croix Models Canard Stick. Very simple, very easy technique that I use. It provides a very nice finish. You can see in the area over here, we're just working along, moving along, covering this part. I want to show you the technique I use. Once you've gone ahead and you've got your covering down, what we're doing, we're simply taking our iron and we're going through and we're going the full length of the iron. Now think of the covering as a sticker. In the same way you would apply a sticker, you'd force the air out. That's what we're doing here. We're in essence forcing the air out. Notice how we're going through and we're starting at one end and working our way to the next. Okay, provides a nice smooth finish. We're taking our time, we're not rushing. Sometimes you may have to go over it twice. It provides a nice finish as you're going along. And that's one of the key things to getting a good covering job. Full length. Occasionally you may have to pick it up and use the tip to help force out additional air if need be, as I'm doing right here. But for the most part, you're starting with the tip and you're just kind of moving along, letting it go the full length. Now what I like to do also is, you'll notice, you can see it here. This is the part that is not yet attached. This is the part that is. You notice it sort of creates a line, if you will. If you take the tip of the iron and you line it up with that line, that works really well, because what that does, that helps to ensure that you don't trap air in there, because air is what gives you your wrinkles. Now, of course, there might be some differentiation in the sheeting on the fuselage, which obviously can affect how the covering attaches, but ultimately this technique works. Now sometimes I even lift up the rear a little bit, like if I've gone over it once and I still don't quite see it smooth, I'll actually take the iron and tip it up a little bit, I like to think like a drag racer, if you will. But you can see how it provides a nice smooth finish as we're going along. All right, friends, just wanted to share that little tip for you. So if you're covering a fuselage that is fully sheeted, that's very helpful, or any surface for that matter. All right, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, you can see the fuselage is covered. I had quite a bit of covering left over, and you can see it here in my box. So because it's just a stick, I just went crazy with the palette. So fuselage is done, that's covered, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the wing, and more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, and we're continuing with the covering, we are working on our wing. Let's talk about what we have so far. So I went ahead and just pre-covered the area surrounding the servo. It's always a little easier. That way when we put the covering over top, we just able to slice right through the covering, and then it'll wind up fitting very nicely and very cleanly around the servo. Same thing on the front. Remember, we have this little finishing piece here, so the wing blends in with the fuselage. So we had to go through and also finish that up as well. And then, of course, take our time and work our way around the dowels as well up front. So we've got that in place. We've got our piece cut, and we're going to go ahead and start working on the left bottom portion of the wing. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update, you can see the bottom of the wing is done, and it worked really well. Ultra Coat does a nice job. You know, I've used Monocoat and Ultra Coat, and one of the things I really like about Ultra Coat is that it doesn't wrinkle. A little bit of wrinkling here on the end, but that'll be stretched out. After I put the top cover on, the top coat, and then if we scoot down here to the other wing tip, you can see that went on perfectly. Very happy with it. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, you can see we've got our top covering in place. We have our ailerons in place, and we went through and we have our servos in place. We're using 4-inch long Hanger 9 titanium Pro Links. I love those Pro Links. They're very stiff. They're easily adjustable. No worry about any flutter or slop or anything like that. They just work really, really well. So she's looking great. So the wing is done. We're just going to go ahead and put our horizontal stabilizers in the slots. You can see we've got the slots cut here. And then the wing is 100% finished. And then all we're going to do now is move on to the fuselage and do the last little bits and pieces of getting the servos installed and push rods in place and the engine mounted, and then finally the landing gear as well. All right, nearing the end. More to come. All right, friends, you can see we've got our vertical stabilizers glued in place. So the wing is truly 100% done. That's it. The only thing I'm going to do extra is I do take a little bit of clear monocoat and I fill in the gap here between the aileron and the wing because I like a nice tight gap to prevent any flutter, and it actually helps to improve lift a little bit and decrease drag. But that's it. The wing is done. She's looking great. Really happy with her. I am going to put some skulls on the vertical fins that I found online. So we'll put a decal on there. All right, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, as we get to the little last bits and pieces for the actual plane, we've got our nose gear hooked up. And I know I talked about it previously, but I want to show you the setup. First of all, we use the Dubro Easy Adjust Axle, and that's this right here, because the nose gear itself, this portion here was just straight, it wasn't bent. And in order to bend something like this, you have to have a very heavy-duty wire bender in order to get that to sit. But the nice thing about this is you can get this so that it's adjust perfectly 90 degrees to the spring portion here of the actual nose gear, which is really nice. So anyway, we've got that in place. Let's look at our servo here. You can see we've got our servo all set up. We're using the 440 push rod from Dubro as well. And you can see it functions just perfectly. Real nice. So this is going to work great. And as I mentioned, it's going to free up that area in the fuselage for the battery. All right, our focus is now going to shift to the elevators. We're going to get those hinges glued in place and get our servos in, and more to come. All right, friends, as we continue update here, we've got our elevator servos on the plane along with our push rods, and everything is working absolutely fantastic. Really happy with it. Really, 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 really happy. It worked great. Okay, so the only thing we have to do now is we're going to move on to the ESC. We need a way to be able to attach it to the back of the plane. And I purchased this from F3A Unlimited. They have a couple different sizes available. This is an ESC tray. They have them in small, they have them in large. This will be perfect for the 60 amp ESC. But we're going to wind up mounting this towards the rear of the fuselage. So that way we can easily take the leads from the motor and to be able to connect them to the actual ESC itself. So that's the next thing we're doing. And then after that, we just have to do some soldering and some balancing, and we're 100% done. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, as you can tell, we are 100% finished. She's all done. Came out really well. Quite a patchwork of colors, as you can see. But, you know, I did that because I just thought it would be fun. It's just a stick. It's not a scale airplane. I had a bunch of covering laying around, so just threw it on there. But it looks good. Came out well. Very happy with it. The only thing that I have to do is just to add some skulls on the side of the vertical fins. What we did with the ESC is we have our ESC tray glued on top of the plane. And we have our battery leads going up here, our throttle lead heat going down in here because our receiver is in this part of the aircraft back here. And one of the nice things that I do like about the polka dots is that you can clearly tell which side is up. And oops, you can clearly tell which side is up because of that yellow wing on the bottom, as you can see. And I will tell you, after having flown canards, you know, they can get a bit confusing as far as what direction they're going. So that's one of the reasons why I went with all the different colors as well. But anyway, that's it. She's all done. I will say to those that are building it, this would make an excellent FPV platform. You know, you've got this section in here. You could easily put a camera right in that front part if you're looking to do that. And of course, you know, you obviously have the whole top portion up there where you could easily put a pan tilt camera, which would be really nice. Because then you could just have a set of goggles that you could look left and right, just like you're actually in the airplane. But anyway, that's it. She's done. And we're swinging a master air screw 12/6 pusher on there. And that's all there is to it. Folks, thanks for watching, and I do appreciate it. I hope we were able to learn a couple tips. That's why I do the channel, just to help those out that might be doing some building. But the plans are readily available online. If you just do a search for Canard Stick, there are many free sets of plans for this exact airplane. I am going to go ahead and try to make an effort to scan the instructions, and I will wind up putting them up on RC groups on the build thread, so that way you'll have the instructions. By the way, for those that are building, let me just show you the last set of instructions for it real quick, since we're wrapping up. And you can see the center of gravity is 100 millimeters from the rear of F3 going forward. And there's your throws, by the way. Control surface throws, as well as nose gear. And some flying tips, especially for those that are going to use a nitro engine instead of electric. By the way, I'm going to wind up using a 5S for this plane, 5S 5000. One more page for you real quick. And that's it. All right, friends. Thanks so much for watching. And please like and please subscribe and share this with your friends, because it's all about just the camaraderie of the hobby and sharing what I've learned over the years to help you with your hobby. Take care now. Thanks for watching.